Hi, it's Angie with News OK. I'm here with Becky Varner, who is a registered dietitian and a food columnist for the Oklahoman. And today we're going to be making something very good for her recipe for health column. Tell us what we're making.
We are making a glazed chicken, and we are going to serve that with a fruit salsa.
Wow. Oh, yum.
So simple to make and very, very good.
Good. Let's get started.
Okay. Well, Angie, the first thing we need to do is I'm going to turn my burner on, and we want to spray the skillet with a nonstick spray and get a nice coating of that on there.
Burner just on high? Or?
I turn it on high to start and then turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to use just a little bit of olive oil, a tablespoon. And what happens when you use a little bit of olive oil, it will help the chicken to brown a little bit better, just get a nice brown coloring. And so I'm going to measure this tablespoon of olive oil, and we'll just put this in here and let it begin to heat. And while that's heating, I might just add, using the extra virgin olive oil is a little bit milder flavor, so people might be interested in knowing that. And we are using 4 chicken breasts, a pound of the raw weight, deboned and skinned, and that would be approximately 4 ounces each. Okay, so that's what we're going to be starting with. And I'm just going to turn this around here, because you do want the oil to be hot before you actually put the chicken in. And again, that just helps with the browning a little bit. So,
and the olive oil also is going to be healthy as well.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful monounsaturated fat.
Great.
And one of the ways that we can test, just to be sure that our oil is getting hot, is just take a tiny bit of chicken and you can just put it in there and see if it starts to sizzle and it's not quite ready. And so we'll just let that continue to heat for just another minute.
That's interesting. How cool. And now you can see it start to bubble.
You can begin to see it bubble just a little bit. I'm going to let it bubble just a little bit more, and you see a little bit of steam. And now we're going to take our chicken breasts and we're just going to place these around the skillet, and you can hear them cook, so that's a good thing. Okay. And Angie, one of the things that I want to tell people about in cooking, we are able to get by with using just a little bit of the oil, because we're actually going to steam the chicken to cook it. And how that's going to work in just a minute here, and we'll be keeping an eye on our chicken. I'm going to rotate that a little bit. That oil is going to be absorbed. And when the oil's absorbed, of course, the chicken will still need to continue cooking for a while. And we're going to add water to it a little bit at a time to actually steam it.
Wonderful.
Okay? So we'll give this just another little bit of time here.
And let it soak up the olive oil.
Yes.
Okay.
One thing that I want to mention also is when people, if they buy frozen chicken breasts and they're going to defrost them, they need to defrost them in the refrigerator overnight. Just have them well wrapped, and that's the best way. You don't want to defrost them out on the cabinet, because you don't want them at room temperature for that long.
Oh, interesting. Now, what about defrosting them in the microwave?
You can do that too. Sometimes I think it affects the texture just a little bit.
Yeah, I know it.
And so I prefer defrosting them overnight, but in a pinch you can sure do that.
I know it.
Okay. All right, let's check here and see. You can see the chicken's beginning to cook. It's not really browning yet, but it is beginning to cook. And this one's beginning to brown just a little bit.
Now, how do you keep it from popping on you?
Well, that's when it's time to turn the heat down just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that down a little bit, because when you add the water also, it will pop if it's too hot.
I bet.
So I've turned this down just a little bit to medium. Medium high would be fine. And we're going to move this a little bit.
I love chicken breast.
I know,
so good.
Smell good.
I know.
Without anything added at all. Okay, now. And you can begin to see a lot of that oil is beginning to evaporate, and not evaporate, but be absorbed into the chicken. So I'm going to add a little water, and we'll start with about 2 tablespoons. And you can see it creates steam. Hear the sizzle?
I know.
And that's
this is an easy way to steam your chicken.
Very easy way to steam your chicken.
So as that's cooking, I guess you don't just have to sit idly around and wait for it. You can actually start on the second half.
Absolutely. That's what we'll do with our salsa.
Wonderful. We're going to make the fruit salsa. Tell us how to do it.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we have 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. I'm going to put this in here, and you want to pack it tightly, it's 2 tablespoons packed, and when you let it sit in the container, you measure it, and it's going to puff back up, so it looks like more than that, but it really isn't when it's tightly packed. And then we're going to use jalapeno pepper. And this is 1 pepper about 2.5 inches long.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk just a quick minute about, it's very important when you work with jalapeno peppers to wash your hands real well after you have handled them, and your cutting board and your knife, so that you don't get your hand up to your eye and burn your eye.
That's true. Yeah, and spread it everywhere else.
That's exactly right. So this is our jalapeno.
Okay.
And we're going to add that, and we are using the same dish, that container that we are going to let this sit in the refrigerator in, so that we don't need to dirty another container.
Good point.
That's just a little way to save on dishes.
Definitely.
I want to show how to juice a lime, and I've already got my 2 tablespoons of lime juice measured. But if when you have a lime, if you want to get the most juice out, you want to rub it in your hands before you cut it open. Just kind of roll it like this, and that will make it easier to juice.
Interesting.
Just a little tip.
Wow.
We're going to cut our lime in half, and all that you do is
there you go.
Put your lime or your orange, whatever you're juicing, and then you would just pour it out of the spout. Like I said, we already have our 2 tablespoons here. And we need 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. And we'll measure that and add that to our other seasonings here. I'm going to just stir this up slightly, and then we'll add our other ingredients. Now, part of the beauty of this recipe, you can use whatever fruits you want to use.
Nice.
We are using a cup of chopped strawberries, and I like to have them just in about 1/4-inch pieces to 1/2-inch pieces. You can see kind of the size that we're talking about. Our pineapple tidbits, we started with a 15 1/4 ounce can of pineapple tidbits, and this is the pineapple juice that was reserved from this that we used in the chicken.
Nice.
Okay, so the salsa for this recipe, we wanted to use pineapple to have that pineapple juice.
Okay.
If you were making the salsa to just serve as a dip or to use some other way, you wouldn't need the pineapple juice, so you could use mango, or you could use papaya, anything like that.
Nice.
And Angie, we have 1/4 cup of red pepper. Now you can use yellow pepper, you could use green bell pepper. You want to just really the color that you want to bring out. So you can use any of those. We're going to dump that in, and again, those are just diced in small pieces. We're going to mix this up.
Oh, it's pretty.
And it does have just a lot of color to it.
So it's as simple as that.
That's it.
All right, Becky, so we're done with the salsa, and now we're headed back to the chicken.
The chicken's still cooking. We're going to add just a little bit of water.
Ooh, that's definitely steamed.
Yes, and one of the things that it does, because the chicken is really steaming, it keeps it very, very tender. Okay? And so while that's just about evaporated already, that water that we've added, we're going to add pineapple juice. This is the reason.
Oh, I love pineapple
it's so
juice.
good. And this is what makes the glaze. And the pineapple juice is what is reserved from the pineapple tidbits that we used in the salsa.
Okay.
And when I drained it into a cup with a spout, because I knew that I was going to be adding it to the cooking chicken.
That's a good idea.
So we're going to add just a little bit, and see, that steams just like the water was doing. But what happens, the natural sugar that's in the pineapple juice, and this is pineapple in its own juice, but the natural sugar begins to caramelize, and that's what creates the glaze.
Oh,
so
I love it.
We're going to just keep adding this.
Okay.
And Angie, originally we let our chicken cook about 15 minutes. We need to let it cook about 10 more minutes with the pineapple juice. And I'm going to just turn these. And look at, they're beginning to brown there. Aren't they pretty?
It smells good.
Doesn't it?
Wow, that looks fabulous. So they may stick a little bit.
This one is. There we go. And we'll see the browning.
That looks good.
And we're going to need to turn our temperature down just a little bit from high to a medium.
Okay.
For the rest of our pineapple juice. And we're just going to turn this down a little bit and let this simmer for the pineapple juice to completely cook into the chicken, and that's what makes our glaze.
Okay, so we are done with the chicken, obviously. Here's the chicken, and done with the salsa.
We are, and we're going to spoon the salsa over the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to leave a little bit of the brown part of the chicken exposed just because that's such a pretty coating on there. You just don't want to cover it all up.
Right.
You can put the salsa just around the chicken.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
On it.
You definitely know how to make a great presentation with your meals.
It's just it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple. And then we put a little bit of paprika on the potatoes just for a little bit of color. We've served mashed potatoes with this. You could serve rice with it, or you could serve corn would be a nice complement to it as well.
Definitely.
Some kind of a starch.
And then a salad.
And this is spinach salad, but again, you could use a baby spring salad or romaine lettuce salad, any of those.
It's a nice, good, complete, healthy meal.
It sure is.
Wonderful. Thank you, Becky. For more on Becky's column, to learn how to make this wonderful meal, check out the food section of the Oklahoman and also on newsok.com. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Angie.